What is streaming inference and when is it needed? Streaming inference is simply reacting the moment new data arrives, almost like noticing a ripple on a pond and catching the cause before the wave even spreads. You're not waiting to gather events. You're responding while the signal is still alive, which is why it protects card systems from fraud and guides trading engines that can't afford hesitation. The simple picture is, an event appears, you clean it instantly, the model fires, and the decision lands within a few tens of milliseconds, usually under 50. Interviewers love when you say, streaming is essential when business value fades with delay, because it shows you understand both systems and economics. A follow-up might ask how you set latency goals. And a strong reply is that teams track P95 and P99 delays to guarantee consistent real-time experience. Don't worry if this feels intense. The more you think of it as catching a falling coin before it hits the floor, the more intuitive it becomes. This is the heartbeat of real-time ML. Streaming versus batch inference. The easiest way to think about streaming versus batch is to imagine two rhythms. Streaming is like replying to a message the instant your phone lights up, while batch is like sitting down later and clearing your entire inbox in one focused sweep. Streaming handles each record with millisecond freshness, perfect for fraud alerts or sensor readings, while batch collects everything first and processes with heavy optimization, ideal for churn analysis, nightly scoring, or data lake compactions. The interview-winning insight is always the trade-off. Streaming sacrifices throughput to gain immediacy, whereas batch offers efficiency but accepts delay. If someone asks when to choose streaming, a great answer is when the outcome changes if you wait, even slightly. Don't worry if the line feels blurry at first. Once you start thinking in terms of urgency, value decay, and cost of staleness, the choice between the two becomes very natural. When do you need streaming inference? You reach for streaming inference when the world is shifting too quickly for delayed decisions, like stopping a suspicious card swipe the moment it happens, or reacting to a market signal before it evaporates. It fuels real-time personalization, the kind where Netflix or an e-commerce app adjusts recommendations as you scroll, and it keeps continuous monitoring systems steady across IoT networks, autonomous vehicles, and anomaly detectors. Another simple way to picture it is catching a moving train, hesitate, and the moment passes. Interviewers appreciate when you say streaming is used when fresh predictions drive far more value than perfectly optimized ones. If they ask how you scale it, you can mention that Kafka or Flink help spread event loads across clustered workers. Don't worry if these categories overlap. Real companies blend them all the time. With experience, you'll spot the real-time cases instantly. Streaming inference pipeline. A streaming pipeline moves like a smooth conveyor belt. Events flowing continuously, each one gets cleaned, the model fires instantly, and an action happens within milliseconds. All without waiting for batches to form. You can imagine every event passing through tiny stations, pre-processing, inference, and decision before the next item arrives. Interviewers love when you highlight deployment realism, especially lines like, "We update models using shadow or blue-green rollouts, so new versions are tested on live traffic without risking real actions." A likely follow-up is how you keep latency predictable, and a confident answer is that teams monitor P95, P99, backlog growth, and queue time to keep the pipeline stable under load. Keep in mind, it's normal for this to feel fast-paced, Once you see a pipeline running end to end, the flow becomes surprisingly natural. Real-time systems have a rhythm. You just tune into it. Key takeaways. At its core, streaming inference is about immediacy. Predictions are generated the instant data arrives, with latency so tight, often just a few milliseconds, that the system feels almost anticipatory. That's why it excels in high-stakes domains like fraud detection, personalization, and IoT monitoring, where even small delays can shift outcomes. The strongest interview summary is, streaming trades batch efficiency for instant business value because it captures both engineering trade-offs and real-world impact. If asked how teams measure success, you can say they track throughput, event backlog, P95 and P99 latency, and how stable decisions remain under spikes. It's completely normal if all this still feels abstract. The more real pipelines you observe, the more natural these patterns become. Over time, you'll see that real-time ML isn't about speed for its own sake. It's about meeting the moment while the moment still matters. Great job learning today. If this helped you feel clearer or more confident for your AI or ML interviews, tap like so more learners can find you. If you want simple guidance for every interview topic, subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. You can share your questions in the comments. I read them, and they help me choose what to teach next. And if you know someone preparing for interviews, feel free to share this with them. Keep going. You're improving with every step. I'm here to help you grow.